Yesterday's weather is an agile technique that uses past performance to estimate the amount of work that can be completed in a sprint. The name comes from the idea that the best prediction for today's weather is gathered from yesterday's weather. That sounds logical. Not so. In much the same way, it has been observed that predicting that a team will accomplish roughly the same amount of work this sprint as they did the previous sprint has some predictive power. This technique can be used in any agile framework, including Scrum and Kanban. To use yesterday's weather, teams first need to calculate their average velocity for the past 3 sprints. This is done by adding up the number of story points completed in each sprint and dividing by 3. Once the average velocity is known, it can be used to estimate the amount of work that can be completed in the next sprint. For example, where a team delivered on 9 story points in the first sprint, 11 story points in the second sprint, and 10 story points in the third sprint. The 3 sprints added, then divided by the number of sprints, 3 would give us 10. 10 then becomes the average story points velocity of the team. They could estimate that they can complete 10 story points in the next sprint. However, it is important to note that yesterday's weather is just an estimate. There are many factors that can affect the amount of work that can be completed in a sprint, such as the complexity of the work, the availability of resources, and unexpected events. Tips for using yesterday's weather effectively. 1. Use it as a starting point, not a definitive answer. 2. Consider the factors that may affect your team's velocity in the next sprint. 3. Be flexible and be willing to adjust your estimates as needed. Here's how yesterday's weather works in an agile team. 1. Collect data. The team collects data on their past performance, such as how much work they completed in previous sprints or how many user stories they were able to deliver per week. 2. Analyze the data. The team analyzes the data to identify patterns or trends in their performance. For example, they may find that they tend to complete more work during certain times of the week or that certain team members consistently perform better than others. 3. Use the data to plan based on their past performance. The team uses the data to plan their work for the upcoming sprint or period. For example, if they were able to complete 30 user stories in the last sprint, they may plan to complete a similar amount in the upcoming sprint. 4. Monitor progress. The team monitors their progress throughout the sprint or period and adjusts their plans as needed based on their actual performance. For example, if they are falling behind schedule, they may need to adjust their plans or allocate more resources to certain tasks. The yesterday's weather technique is useful for agile teams as it allows them to make more accurate forecasts and better plan their work. It also promotes a data-driven approach to decision-making and encourages teams to continuously monitor and improve their performance over time. Questions. 1. Could you explain yesterday's weather as it relates to agile ways of working? 2. Could you with illustrations explain how yesterday's weather could be effectively used with the team? 3. Could you give and explain some considerations to be taken to cognizance before using yesterday's weather?